We have just got news that five players at Gloucester City have been released, including first team starters Lewis Hall and Joe Parker. Joe Parker obviously scored quite a lot of. Oh, 1 second. We've got a press conference live now with Tiger FM. Hello, everybody. How are you all today? Can we get the first question, please, from this side of the room over here? You released Joe Parker, who scored 20 goals last season, and also released Lewis Hall, who played over 40 games. Yeah, why was that? So, we obviously wanted to keep hold of the majority of the squad, and Joe Parker and Lewis Hall were first team players for the majority of the season. The thing with Joey was, even though he had a good season, I felt that was his level, the Conference North. He agreed with me. He said he wanted to move on to pastures new. I was going to give him a contract, but he said he wanted to leave the club anyway. So I thought, fair enough. We'll let you go. You can go to that level, hopefully, bang in a bunch more goals, and hopefully we could see him again at the club. Lewis Hall, it might be harsh, but I felt he was the weakest point of our squad last season. He did play well, but everyone played well. Everyone had a shift, and hence why we got promoted. So I felt there were better options on the market at that time. We got a couple of left backs in. And yeah, that's all I can say about that, really. Can we get the next question from gentleman over here with the hat? You signed a few youngsters in the transfer market. Was there a reason behind this? Yeah, so we have brought in a couple of young players. Well, I say a couple, quite a few, but we brought in a couple of older heads as well, in Elliot Benyon and Bradley Goldberg, who have played at this level. They've got experience at this level and the level below. And especially with Benyon, I feel he can go on, he can become a great coach or a great scout if he wants to be. And that's what we're going to try and do with him. He's going to play this season. Probably not start, he understands that. He'll probably be on the bench for the majority of the season, but he accepts that. And he also accepts that we're going to try and push him to be a coach, be a scout, whatever he wants. He can choose what he wants, and we'll help him along that way. But like I said, Benyon's been at Torquay, Swindon. He's got that experience. Bradley Goldberg's been around. He's been to Bromley. He scored goals pretty much wherever he's gone. So I think those two are great acquisitions into the squad. And Yanis as well, Yanis Constantinou. He is a young striker, but he's very hungry to make it in the game. He wants to prove to West Ham that he can make it in the Premier League. And more importantly, he wants to do it at Gloucester City this season. He wants to push on. He wants to make Gloucester City into the league club that I feel we could be in the next few seasons. And he wants to be the star man. He's going to have some competition with Harry Williams. Hopefully I can build them both as our future partnership. But anything can happen. And he's looking forward to the challenge. Next question, please. From over here, please. You brought in two keepers from Everton, Joe Hilton and Tom Murphy, and you couldn't renew the loan of James Hammond. How do you feel about this? So yeah, two new goalkeepers. Obviously, Hammond we couldn't renew his loan because his contract at Exeter was up, and he wanted far too much money to join us. The same with Oxlade-Chamberlain. Unfortunately, we couldn't renew his loan. Same again, contract ran out of Portsmouth. He wanted far too much money. I was really hoping to bring them in for this season, but these things happen. We have renewed the loans of Finn Tapp and Kavanagh, thankfully, because they were two very good players we had last season. But moving on to your question anyway, the two new keepers, two new Evertonian keepers, yeah. I've told them both, you need to fight for your place. They're both equal ability and they can both go a long way in the game. And I've told them that you're going to have to fight for this number one jersey, and you're going to have to show me in training why you deserve to be there. And they both are very hungry, like Yanis. They're both very hungry to get back into the Premier League. and they're gonna both fight very hard to get that number one spot, which I'm looking forward to. We brought in a lot of players, and there's going to be a lot of competitions, and everyone is loving it at the moment. Right, at the back there, we'll make this our last question, please.
Where do you think you'll finish in the league this season, Tiger?
So, I personally believe, in the players that I've got, we can make top half easily. The board expect us to avoid relegation, which is fair enough. We're a newly promoted side into this league. The players believe, and I believe, we can make it into the top half. I wouldn't be too upset if we made the lower mid-table. I wouldn't be too upset. As long as we're staying in this league this season, we survive, and then we can push on from there and maybe push for the playoffs next season. I've got faith in this squad. The squad have got faith in themselves. And like I said in the previous question, the competition is only going to help that. The many new arrivals are going to help this team push on to the next level. Right, we're going to end the press conference there. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I hope you stick with us throughout the season. Hopefully we give you all some very good performances. And let's see what the season brings, shall we? See you later. Next question. We're going to make this our last one. At the back there. That didn't happen.